You never see me mad, you just see me right now.
The story goes he was sitting at a bar, goes up to Andre and just hauls off and sucker punches him. Wham!
To millions of wrestling fans around the world, he's known as Andre the Giant.
Let me tell you something about Andre the Giant.
The one and the only Andre the Giant.
He had a mean streak.
Say the Giant got upset when he was pinned by the Ultimate Warrior.
Andre the Giant didn't lose his temper often, but when he did, it was absolute carnage.
Wow, he hit him. I'm like, oh my God, he just irritated the hell out of Andre.
They walked in, Andre just said, "You're fired," to all three of them.
In this video, we count down the top 5 times Andre snapped. Real life unscripted moments when the Giant lost his cool.
By the time the bell had sounded, Andre went and grabbed the camera cables, and you'll see in a second how that resulted.
And by the time we reach number 1, you'll hear all about one fateful night when Andre's rage
He put them both in the trunk,
landed him
shut the trunk.
in serious trouble.
You bastard! I have to tell you my name, you know who I am?
Everybody called him the boss, right? And he was. And if he didn't like you, you just need to stay away from him.
You're the boss, yes!
Andre's gone for third! Andre has gone for third!
But before we get to that, let's start with number 5, and a warning no one dared to ignore.
No baby oil.
Andre's dislike for certain wrestlers was no secret in the locker room. He especially couldn't stand anyone he felt was disrespecting him or the business.
If he decided that he was not going to get picked up, or you were not going to throw a punch, or you weren't going to put a wrestling move on it, it didn't happen. He was stronger than all of us. He was bigger than all of us. He kept everybody in line. This is not a business of tough guys. If you're in this business, it's to entertain. And for those guys that thought they were tough guys in this business, Andre would straighten them out real quick.
Over the years, there were a few big names who drove the Giant crazy, but no feud was more infamous than Andre's real-life beef with the Macho Man Randy Savage.
He hated Randy Savage. The Macho Man hated him with a passion. Because whenever I would see Randy was wrestling Andre, I used to laugh. Randy was always worried on how Andre was going to beat him.
As the story goes, Randy Savage was known for greasing himself up before matches, a habit which Andre couldn't stand. According to Savage's brother, Lanny Poffo, Andre hated baby oil, but Randy wouldn't stop wearing it. He stubbornly said, "Andre's gimmick is being a giant, mine is baby oil."
Randy and Andre didn't get along at all. He may be a giant, but he's not giant all over, and I tell you, I said, oh, I don't want to hear it.
And then Randy would wait till the very last minute, and he'd be all taped up, and he'd have baby oil all over him. Randy would come in, "Oh, excuse me, Andre, big brother, what do you think we're gonna do out there in the ring tonight?" Andre would look up at him, playing cards, and go, "No baby oil, get out!"
And baby oil wasn't the only thing that pushed Andre's buttons. Some wrestlers have claimed that the Giant wasn't a fan of the way Randy behaved around Miss Elizabeth. Hulk Hogan recalls the scene vividly.
I watched the match, and Andre would just get in there, just beat the hell out of him, just pull his hair out. "This is for you, Elizabeth!" Whap! And he'd hit him. I'm like, oh my God, he just irritated the hell out of Andre. And Andre had enough of his mouth.
While the baby oil bust-up between Andre and Savage was intense, it pales in comparison to number 4 on our list. Because while Savage took his lumps and respected the hierarchy, Andre's next opponent was a whole different breed.
From Asbury Park, New Jersey, Bam Bam Bigelow!
Bam Bam Bigelow had a reputation for being difficult. He didn't care about pecking orders, he didn't care about politics, and he damn sure wasn't afraid of making enemies behind the curtain. So when the Beast from the East crossed paths with Andre, the locker room braced for impact. At 6'4" and nearly 400 pounds, Bam Bam was no joke. Upon joining WWF in 1987, he was quickly positioned for a massive push. As fate would have it, the push would come to an unceremonious end just 1 year later, when he made the mistake of getting on Andre's bad side. The showdown came during a match at Madison Square Garden. According to those who were there, Andre thought Bam Bam was a disruptive presence backstage and wanted to teach the newcomer a lesson. The bell rang, and from the start, fans could tell something was off.
I remember there was an Andre match. Of course, Andre the Giant was the biggest man you'll ever see. Andre got him in the ring up against the ropes, and Andre said something to him like, young boy, you know, you're a little green for us. Like, this is how it works. Like, you're gonna learn. And Andre really just stuck it to him.
He was pounding on him. I mean, hard. It was a bad night at the office for Bam Bam Bigelow. He'd gotten such a big push, but at a certain point, they did sour on him.
Bam Bam Bigelow paid the price here.
And they may have been ego-wise, the other guys not liking it.
After surviving the match, Bam Bam makes his way backstage. He storms into the locker room, packs his bag, and abruptly leaves the building. Within months, he'd be gone from the WWF. The Beast from the East would later admit that getting humbled by Andre was a blessing, and gave him a much-needed reality check at a time when his ego was running wild.
He was young, and these guys were big, and the older guys were like, you know what, you need to step in line. They were just letting him know he had to pay his dues. He was green, and you need to wait your turn, because it's not right now.
As we've seen, Andre's reputation in the ring was well known, but backstage, that's where his authority was undeniable. If the Giant felt someone had stepped out of line, the reaction was immediate. And there was one incident in particular that showed exactly how he handled things behind the scenes. An incident that would single-handedly change the path of 3 wrestlers' careers. In the mid-1980s, the WWF locker room was invaded by a trio of brash partiers, the fabulous Freebirds. The Freebirds were legendary in the Texas territories, but in WWF, they quickly gained a reputation for unprofessional behaviour, missing events, showing up late, and just generally acting like A young Bret Hart remembers watching the pandemonium unfold.
I remember my first day in WWE, WWF back then. We landed at the airport, and when we were in LaGuardia, I remember they were all passed out around the gate. So they couldn't open the door of the plane for the pilot and everyone else to get on because the Freebirds, they were all conked out against the door. And I remember they missed the plane, and they showed up about an hour late into the show, and they came in giving some excuse about being late. I think clearly they'd been drinking and whatever else they'd been doing.
As the locker room leader, Andre the Giant had seen enough. According to reports, the boys strolled in like nothing was wrong, and so furious was Andre that he stood up and confronted them right there and then.
As soon as they walked in, Andre just said, "You're fired," to all 3 of them. He was tired of them coming late, and they were bullshit, and they were getting away with it, and he just said, "Enough," he goes, "You're fired."
Michael Hayes, never one to back down from a confrontation, got in Andre's face and insisted he didn't have the power to get him fired.
I remember Michael Hayes cutting a promo on him, going, "You can't fire me, you're not in charge," and all this stuff, and Andre, I just remember Andre goes, "You'll see tomorrow. It's either you're gone or I'm gone."
And like clockwork, the trio were given their marching orders the very next day. In one stroke, Andre had used his backstage clout to cut loose one of the hottest up-and-coming tag teams.
They were all fired. And he was a professional. He didn't like guys that weren't.
Speaking of showdowns, our number 2 story might just be the wildest barroom brawl in wrestling history. Stick around for this one, because things are about to get wild. It's the late 1970s, and after a long day on the road, a rowdy bunch of wrestlers spill into a Florida bar. The air is thick with sweat, cigarette haze, and the sound of chairs scraping across the floor. In the corner of the room sits Andre the Giant, hunched over a card table, laughing with friends and knocking back beers like they're water. The Giant loved his inner circle, but that hospitality didn't extend to everyone.
That man, Andre, if he could be alone if he wanted to, and he was. And if he didn't like you, you just need to stay away from him. I remember Andre sitting the story goes, he was sitting at a bar, and then a guy by the name of Blackjack Mulligan. So Mulligan he was a big dude. He was like 6'8", three bills, and just a hair trigger, man. I mean, he would snap just like that. And then there was always the, I don't know, what do you call it now? Your street cred. Anyway, so Mulligan evidently goes up to Andre, and he had somebody with him. I don't remember who was with him.
When the 6'9" Texan showed up that evening, he didn't come alone.
There's him and Dick Murdoch, and they tried to screw Andre on his money. Andre said, "I'll see you in the bar." So they got together and they said, "Let's just go in there and whip that big son of a bitch's ass." They went in there and tried to jump Andre, and it didn't work out too well.
Andre's sitting at the bar drinking and just hauls off and sucker punches him. Wham! Andre ended up beating the both of them, like beating the crap out of them.
Herman Mulligan moving back in. Again, another shot by Andre. Oh, devastating shot.
And this is where the story splits into two legendary versions. According to Ric Flair, who was actually there that night, Andre dragged both men onto the beach, and with one man in each hand, he started dunking them under the waves. Mulligan and Murdoch thrashed in the surf. Eventually, the Giant let them go, soaked, shaken, and utterly humiliated. But Jake the Snake Roberts has a different version. According to him, Andre hurled both men through a window, stopped a passing taxi, and threw them in the trunk.
Shut the trunk. Take the hospital.
Now, no one's quite sure which version is true, but one thing that everyone can agree on is that after he was done, Andre is said to have sat back down, ordered another drink, and continued with his card game. But the story doesn't end at the bar. Mulligan would later break the fourth wall by bringing up the real-life fight during a televised promo with Andre and Mean Gene.
Blackjack, I believe the toll is...
That's exactly right. That's the reason I can hardly talk today. I get hit in the throat about every 4 punches from the big guy. I said, "Andre, let's go down to a place called a Rock Inn." And after I got busted over the head with about 4 quarts of Jack Daniels, I smashed him back. I've got the Giant so mad and so hot. And I'm going to tell you, I can't get hit in the nose or the eye anymore. I am the only sparring partner in the world that Andre the Giant's got. And, brother, I don't know how many more weeks I can take it.
4 wild incidents down, and now we've reached number 1. Sitting at the top of our list is a moment so chaotic that authorities had to step in. And this time, the consequences for Andre the Giant went far beyond the world of wrestling. August 1989, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Andre, 43 years old and in failing health, is locking horns with the Ultimate Warrior in the main event of a WWF house show. Outside the ring, a TV cameraman is busy filming the crowd. Earlier in the day, the man had been given permission to film portions of the show for a local news report. As part of the arrangement, he was given strict orders not to film Andre's match. The match itself was a short one, with Warrior squashing the Eighth Wonder in less than a minute. But the real drama unfolded after the bell had rung. The Giant caught sight of the cameraman. What happened next is up for debate, but it's generally accepted that Andre mistakenly thought the man was filming him without permission, and that was enough to light the fuse. In front of 4,000 stunned fans, Andre grabbed the camera and tried tearing it out of the man's hands. The man, about 5'9" and 160, clung to his device for dear life, which only made the Giant more angry, with Andre smashing the cameraman's camera and swatting him around like a fly. Arena security quickly intervened, hustling the man to safety and taking Andre backstage. Law enforcement officers quickly descended on the scene, and within seconds, reality set in. If Andre didn't play ball, they were in for a long night. One cop would later joke that their only real backup plan was to ask the Ultimate Warrior to come back out and pin him again. According to reports, when officers approached him backstage and told the Giant he was under arrest, Andre growled that he wasn't going anywhere. The on-duty sergeant took a gentle approach. He stayed calm and talked to Andre man to man. He explained to the Giant that he would have to come to the station. The arrest would be straightforward, and he'd be out in no time. To the relief of the boys in blue, the calm approach appeared to work, and after huffing and puffing, Andre finally agreed to go to the station. On one condition: he wouldn't agree to being handcuffed. Knowing full well that the standard-sized cuffs wouldn't fit Andre anyway, the sergeant improvised and brought out a pair of leg shackles. He held them up to Andre with a grin. "I'll only use these if you make me," he joked. The line made Andre laugh, and with the tension broken, officers left the arena with the Giant. Out in the parking lot, law enforcement faced a new challenge. Andre's tall frame wasn't built for standard issue vehicles. He was eventually transported to the station in the passenger seat of a Ford Crown Victoria squad car. Even then, the Giant's head pressed up against one side and his legs curled to the other. Down at the station, officers processed Andre's paperwork. The Giant's fingerprints were so large they couldn't use regular card. By all accounts, the WWF star was polite and jovial during the detention, chatting to cops and even giving autographs. As the assistant chief would later put it, thank God he was cooperative in the arrest. A guy that big, he could cause some damage. And as it turns out, the eighth wonder of the world did cause damage. $300 worth to be exact, not to mention the strained spine and whiplash allegedly caused to the cameraman. And it's worth remembering, the cameraman was only 23, nervous, inexperienced, and just trying to keep his job. He just got caught up in the unfortunate commotion.
But there was a cameraman on hand shooting this, and he had agreed not to shoot any of the action in the ring. Andre thought he had, and by the time the bell had sounded, Andre went and grabbed the camera cables, and you'll see in a second how that resulted. Here it comes. After that, Andre put the cameraman in a headlock, and he went to the hospital with bruises, and thus Andre will have to face some assault charges at the end of the month.
A little crushing moment in sports, right? Well, the Angels...
Eventually, the case went to court, where Andre was found not guilty of assault, but guilty of criminal mischief for the damaged camera. The TV station and the arena reportedly filed civil claims, but with Andre's side counter-suing, the parties eventually settled out of court. The night in Iowa stands as the ultimate example of Andre the Giant snapping. It's a story where the mythical giant became all too human, losing control and facing real consequences. And the grainy mugshot of Andre the Giant gazing calmly at the camera is a reminder that even the biggest heroes have their breaking points. And there you have it, 5 incredible moments where the famously gentle giant snapped and showed the world what happened when his temper got pushed too far. And what becomes clear is that every so-called mean streak came from something crashing against Andre's principles. In life, Andre stood up for what mattered to him. And that's part of the Giant's legacy that survives above all else. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, give us a subscribe.